Okay, so I think at this point you can kind of see the difference between old Crystal City and new Crystal City, in the sense that right here on the street we have a one-way street to the right. To the left we have two-way. Well, that was all one-way until just a few years ago. And behind us, and where I'm looking, where you have the new shops, basically you had the backs of parking garages. So you had an area where nobody would really want to walk outside because there wasn't a very pleasant environment. There were just sort of cars ripping through here, often getting lost. And what we've been able to create so far is a street that people really want to be on. The two-waying the street being very important. The adding of retail on the street, the creation of a sidewalk environment that's very appealing, with sidewalk seating, with trees, ample areas to walk, and so on. A complete street with bicycle lanes, all of that. But also you can see here the difference. So this way, only just recently had some retail opportunity added, and unfortunately right when the economy slowed down.
The Buffalo Wild Wings, that's where they're going right there.
Right there in the corner, yeah, I read about that. So, we're going to see that starting to liven up as well. As you walk down this way, you can kind of see a little bit more what it used to be like, because there's more spaces that still need work. But even all along here there's changes, because there are buildings down here where there didn't used to be, and coffee shops and things on the street. But also, if you look this direction on 23rd Street, you can really see the difference, because on this side of the street, you'll see a whole row of restaurants and retail and activity. That wasn't there 10 years ago. This is one of the first things that happened, was creating the on-street retail over in here. There used to be retail inside the building, but not really much on the street. So you have a pretty lively street on the south side of 23rd. On this side of 23rd, on the other hand, you can see the problem that we're dealing with in much of Crystal City. Basically, you have a long condition of almost unbroken blank wall. And there is a sidewalk, but there's moving traffic, a curb, a sidewalk, and a wall. And you can see here there's one person walking along it. It's not really a great place to be. It's also in the sun. There's no tree trees shading at the moment. But mostly there's just no permeability to the street wall along there. And this is one of the older buildings here in the corner. And this is one of the first ones that would be subject to redevelopment. It's really a lot of what this plan is about. So if you redevelop that block, you can not only get a better building, a Class A space that of course will bring rent obviously to the owner, more tax to the county, etc., etc. But more importantly,
combination of residential and commercial.
That's right, a better mix, because that's also part of what we're trying to get here, is that better mix of office and residential. This part of Crystal City is basically office, and we can get a better mix and get some residential in here. But the point is that on the street, even if you don't live here, when you come here, there'll be something along 23rd Street on the north side as well. And to make a retail street work, you really kind of want to have the activity on both sides. And since there's so much on the other side of Route 1, 23rd Street, where there's Restaurant Row that everybody likes, we'd really like to connect all this together. Part of connecting it together is having a continuous street frontage that people will want to walk along. So this is the first opportunity to get some redevelopment that makes conditions better for pedestrians, better for people who want to come shop or go to restaurants, just a better place to be around, and at the same time also to get more opportunity for people to live here as well as work here.
And I would throw out in this particular median, turning it into more of a park, if you imagine like a Las Ramblas, an actual place where people can sit and have lunch, because you've got the retail on both sides, and this is coming down. This is also a location for one of our new bike shares. So definitely a new feel to this, and actually making it a usable space where people want to hang out, in addition to like the food carts. But that's a big piece of this, is trying to make some of the green space not just green, but also a place where people actually want to spend time. And this is very much sort of the central part, the central business district for Crystal City. And so you would imagine taller buildings in the centralized areas, taller buildings closer to the metro, increased density therein. I believe the plan is up to 60% increased density, a better residential mix so that it's also the live and work, and that helps support the retail. But all of those things really designed mainly for this side of Route 1 to not impede the neighborhoods across the street.